Hi, and welcome to my guide of the quest Mourning's End Part 1. The quest requirements are roving elves, sheep herder and the big jumpy bird hunting, and the stats requirements are 50 thieving and 60 ranged. For the items needed are ogre bellows, a bucket of water, bear fur, toad crunchies. The ones that you can buy in the grand exchange are player made, but the pre-made ones, which you can buy on the second floor of the grand tree from a waiter, works just as fine. You also need to have 2 pieces of silk, a regular soft leather, 1 feather, magic locks, and approximately 100 GP after arriving in Port Tyrus. Next, you will also need to have a weapon to kill a combat 11, which will drain all your stats to level 20, including prayer and hit points. Now for the suggested items is to have approximately 8 empty inventory slots. Do not wear anything too heavy, just wear your weight reducing armor, since the only thing you will have to attack is that combat 11 mourner, and I don't think that there is anything else aggressive during this quest. Then for the teleports, you will need to have one to the Arandar gate, which is located just south of the Tree Gnome stronghold. You can either bring a Ardougne teleport and then just run all the way west, or bring a Gnome stronghold teleport and run south. Since I don't have a Slayer ring at the moment, I'm just going to take a Vrock teleport. I'm going to run to the Grand Exchange and take the Spirit Tree. Next, I'm also going to bring along 3 teleportation methods to Ardougne, 1 to Fally and 1 to Castle Wars. For that I'm just going to use a ring of dueling. Now if you don't already have a second barrel of naphta, which you've created during the regicide quest, you will also need to have 1 anti-poison or antidote potion to pass the isafdar traps with approximately 10 coal, which you can bring noted at the start of the quest. And then also, if you don't have that barrel, you will need a teleportation method to a bank. Also, I'm going to just use a Castle Wars teleport, and then a teleportation method to Rimmington. Because my house is in Rimmington, I'm just going to bring along 1 house teleport. First, before the quest starts, I'm going to get a barrel of coal tar. If you already have a barrel of naphta in your bank, because you will need to have that barrel at the end of the quest, you can simply bank it if you have it already. But if you don't, first go to Camp of Tyrus or Port Tyrus, and before we're going to start the quest, we are going to get that barrel of coal tar. Because if we are going to start the quest first, we will get teleported to Letia, and then it will be quite a pain before we are able to get that barrel back, because the barrels are here located around the tent that we have destroyed during the regicide quest. Just pick up 1 barrel here, then go north, and let's now get some coal tar from the swamp. So after passing these dense forest, let's just go east. Just keep going east until you see some bears. Here you should find some more dense forest going south. If you already have your barrel of naphta in your bank or inventory, this is completely unnecessary. You can already just go to the quest start, which is the same quest start of roving elves. Try to step over this tripwire. If you fail, drink an antidote, then just go east. Here you'll find some more dense forest, and after we have crossed this one, we have pretty much already made it to the swamp. Here at the footprints, just go southeast until you see the swamp. Okay, here I'll find some sulfur. I think on the eastern side of the sulfur you should be able to stand next to the swamp, use it on the square just in front of you of the swamp, and you'll get a barrel of coal tar. Let's now start the quest by going all the way back of the quest start of roving elves. Going to try to find the dense forest, which is next to the footprints. Okay, here back at the tripwire, let's try to step over it. I got poisoned, let's drink an antidote and let's go to the quest start. If you can't remember where the quest start is, if you just go a little bit west from the dense forest, you'll find some rocks on your minimap. Between the rocks and the tree there will be one square path that you are able to go south. If you just follow this small path, you will find some sticks. Try to pass them. If you fail, try again. I think I should have bought some food or brought some food. Okay, I've passed. Let's hope that there are the two NPCs here. If the NPCs are not here, they will respawn within 4 minutes. But if you don't want to wait, just use your world switcher and hop around until you find the two elves. When they're here, let's quickly talk to the woman Elunet before they take off. Then just select the first option, yes. And then she will take you to Letia. You will also have a teleport crystal of 4 charges in your inventory. Now you will be next to an elf called Ardougne. Let's talk to him. Just keep pressing the spacebar. And after the conversation is over, you now have a teleport crystal and access to Letia. I think you now also have unlocked the Slayer task of elves. And if you kill the elves here in Letia, they will also drop your teleport crystals if you want some more. And if you want to charge your teleport crystals, because they will drop it uncharged, you will need to exit Letia west, which is the only exit, until you find a tree which has a pass option. Then you just need to follow the path all the way south, pass some level 88 direwolves, just keep going south until you see a magic tree sign. Near these magic tree signs should be a everlasting fire with the two elves where we started the quest. If you have some teleport crystals which need to be recharged, just talk to Elunet and she will recharge them for you for a small fee. Next, we will need to go to the Arandar gate to fight the Comet 11. So for me, I'm going to go to Varrock, because I don't have a Slayer ring at the moment. And first I'm going to go to the Varrock bank to bank my barrel of Coltar, because this weighs way too much. So I'm going to quickly deposit this, and then I'm going to go to the Spirit tree. Now, because we actually don't need to be in Isafdar anymore, you also don't need your antidote potion anymore, so you also could deposit that. This can save up some inventory space because we will need to kill a mourner and we will get all of his clothing. So be sure that you have at least 7 empty inventory spots before you're going to the Arandar pass. I am currently in the Gnome Stronghold. I'm just going to keep running south to exit it through the front gate. And from here I just need to go southwest until I reach the Arandar Pass. That is just located west of the outpost. If you see the outpost, the quest sign of making history in the outpost, just keep going west. until you see the gate. Okay, I just found it. Let's open this huge gate. And now you just need to wait for a level 11 mourner to spawn. They walk around here quite frequently. When you see one, attack it. They will immediately drain all your stats to level 20, including your hit points and your prayer. But they shouldn't really be that hard. If you have Protect from melee, you could even still use it, because you still have 20 prayer points left. But once you've killed it, it will drop a lot of stuff. Let's take the leather. Let's actually just take everything that he has dropped. Be sure to also take the leather. Bury the bones. And now we have 6 pieces of clothing of mourner, but 2 of them don't have a wear option. We will need to clean the top and we will need to fix the trousers. Let's first clean the top by teleporting to Fally. Oh my god. But of course I can't teleport because my magic has been drained to level 20, so I guess I'm going to need to improvise and teleport to Clan Wars first, so I can reset my stats by going through the portal. Once through the portal, exit it, and then teleport to Fally. When you are in Fally, let's go to the western bank, and now we will need to go to Taverley. I suggest going via the passing the Taverley dungeon. Also be sure that you have your bucket of water in your inventory before you're going to Taverley. Once you've climbed over this wall, just go northwest. And now just go walk around this lake until we find the druid which is washing his clothing, which is just next to the washing line. Let's talk to the druid Tegit, and then just keep pressing the spacebar, because he will not let you lend his soap, but you are able to try to steal it. This would require 50 thieving to do so, and steal from the laundry basket which is next to him. Steal the soap. Then when you have this soap, use it on the bloody mourner top if you have a bucket of water in your inventory, and you'll clean this one up. Let's drop the soap as well as the bucket, and let's now fix the trousers by using the teleport crystal to teleport ourselves back to Letia. Then you'll see a clothing shop in the northwestern corner. Just click on it and you'll walk all the way around to enter that shop. In this shop you should find Ardougne. Talk to her. Select the third option, do you mend clothes? And she will need some items. Because you already have the bear fur and the silk, let's just talk to her. Select the third option that you have all the items. And now you'll need to wait 1 minute before she has done mending your trousers. In the meantime, right click and trade her. We will now need to buy a couple of dyes. I suggest buying 2 of each. You will need to have 2 red ones, 2 yellow, 2 blue, and 2 green dyes. It is possible that you will need to have more, but 2 of each should be enough. Okay, after waiting a couple of seconds, let's try to talk to her again and ask how the trousers are doing. And if they are not ready, let's wait a little bit longer. Now what we could do during this 1 minute of waiting is go to the Bank of Letia, because we will not need our armor or weapon anymore. So I'm going to deposit my whip as well as my coin stack. We don't need our weapons or coins anymore for the remainder of the quest. And next stop is West Ardougne, and we can't wield anything besides the mourner outfit, so even wielding weapons is not allowed in there. So I'm just going to deposit them as well as my coin stack. And besides from that, I think I'm going to keep everything. Now I'm just going to return to the clothing shop and ask how my trousers are doing. Okay, and they are ready. Now we have fixed all the pieces and you have the full mourner outfit. Let's teleport to Ardougne and let's go west into West Ardougne. Now we will need to go to the building where we have been in the biohazard quest, where we have dressed up as a doctor to be able to get Elena's scientific item back. Now we don't need to poison the mourners anymore and act like a doctor. We have our full mourner outfit. So let's enter West Ardougne. Let's go to the most northeastern building. Equip all the 6 mourner pieces. Go to your equipment and also unequip your jewelry because they also are not allowed in there. And let's open the door. Next, go west and enter the western door. In the northwestern corner you'll find a trapdoor. Open it and climb down. Next, go south and enter the southeastern room. There you'll find 1 or 2 yellow dots. One of them is the head mourner. Let's talk to him. Just keep pressing the spacebar. Then select the second option, yes. Second option, yes again. Are you just following orders? Just select the first option, yes. And he should give you 2 items. If you don't have 2 empty inventory spaces in your inventory right now, let's maybe try to equip a ring. Next, when you have the broken device and a tarnished key, let's go inside the room just west. The door is locked, let's use the key on it. And here you'll find a gnome on a rack. Talk to it. Just keep pressing the spacebar until you will get a couple of options. Then we will need to select the third option about toad crunchies and being tickled. Next, let's use a feather on the gnome to tickle him. Next, let's use a feather on him once again, but be sure that this time you also have your toad crunchies in your inventory. You'll see that you will now tickle the gnome as well as hold the toad crunchies in front of his face, and you will beat the gnome. Now he will ask you to bring some items. Because we already have all those items, let's just talk to him again. And now he'll ask you to untie him. Right click and release the gnome on the rack. And you will release him and you'll get rid of a couple of items in your inventory. Let's talk to the gnome to get the fixed device. Of course, once again, we will need to wait 1 minute before he has fixed it. After we have done this part, we will need to go to Castle War, so hopefully you still have your ring of dueling. In Castle Wars, we're just going to go south of Castle Wars, where there is a swamp, and there we can catch some toads. But first we will need to have that device. Okay, he just fixed the device, and we now have a fixed device in our inventory. So let's teleport with our Ring of Dueling to Castle Wars, or you could also just use the minigame teleport. I don't think we will need to go to the bank, just go south, cross the two bridges, and let's now go west, south of Castle Wars, southwest, past the quest sign of the Ogre Flesh Eaters, just keep going west until you see a puddle of water or a swamp. Now first, before filling up your bellows with air, use any of the colored dyes on it. Then use this on any of the swamp toads hopping around. You will fill the toad with dye and you will now have a colored toad. Do this with all the dyes in your inventory. So you have 2 red, green, yellow and blue toads. Okay, I'm just done gathering the colored toads. Let's now teleport to Ardougne and let's shoot some sheep, which are located north of Ardougne. Just keep going north. We now need to go to the northern bank of Ardougne, and just a couple of squares north of the bank you'll find the first sick looking sheep from the sheep herder quest, which are the red ones. So first use a red toad on the fixed device to put it inside, then right click on the fixed device and wield it. Go to your combat stats next and then you'll find a aim and fire button. Click on it and you will see this interface. Now we will just need to move the arrows on the bottom right until we have a sheep inside. Now there could be a bug in resizable mode when firing, so be sure to use fixed mode for this part of the quest if you just want to be sure and don't miss any of your red toads. Once you have a sheep inside, press on the little red button which has the fire option on it if you hover over it, but be sure that you have a sheep inside. And now all the sheep in the neighborhood have been recolored. If the sheep has moved and you missed a shot, or it was a bug in resizable, you will need to unequip your fixed device, use another red toad on it, aim and fire, and try again. If you would have failed to hit the sheep twice in a row, it sucks, but you will need to go gather some more red toads. So first you will need to have some more red dice, fill up your bellows, and then gather some more toads. Okay, now we will need to do the same thing with the other sheep. Let's go a little bit north, and here we'll find the next flock of sheep. The number 2s are green, so let's use our green toad on the fixed device. Let's wield it, aim and fire in our combat styles. Let's try to find one. Okay, let's try to aim and fire on a sheep. Okay, found one. Fire. Alright, it didn't move. Next sheep are north, at the entrance of the fishing guild. These are number 4, which are yellow, so let's unequip our fixed device. A yellow toad, put that inside, equip, aim and fire. Let's try to shoot this one maybe. It didn't move, alright. If you are unsure if you would have hit the sheep, you can just right click and examine the sick looking sheep, and if you get the message that they are died, you are done with these ones. Now the last one are west, next to the warrior ribbons and the goblins, I think. These ones are blue, so unequip the fixed device. Let's use our blue toad on it. Whoops, the sheep are over there. Aim and fire. Booyah! Didn't fail once. Lucky me. Next, we will need to run south and head back to the head mourner to ask for our next task, which will be one of the last ones of this quest. So let's run all the way back south. Let's maybe equip our weight reducing armor first. Now unequip your fixed device because you are not able to enter the house if you have anything equipped besides your mourner outfit. Okay, open the wall. I have friends. Okay, let's equip our full mourner. Be sure to do not have equipped anything else. Open the door, re-equip your ring, and open the door. To enter the western room, climb down the trapdoor. Let's go back to the head mourner. And now we will need to make the people sick of West Ardougne using the toxic that we have used to make the mourner sick during the biohazard quest, which is by a rotten apple. So let's go back upstairs and grab that rotten apple. Climb up the ladder. Let's go outside. Then let's go to the western side of the fence, just west of the house. There you should find a red dot next to another house, which is the rotten apple. Let's take this one, and now we'll need to run to Alina's house, which is located, well, you should know where it is, since we have been there for in the biohazard quest for a couple of times. This is just west of the river, west of the bank. So a bit northeast of the Temple of Ikov quest start. Let's open the door, enter the house, talk to Alina. Just keep pressing the spacebar because you will now tell her the entire story of the Elven quest line up until this part. Okay, once the conversation is over, let's talk to her again. And you will give her the rotten apple. Now, once again, for the third time, you will need to wait 1 minute before she has done the testing. In the meantime, let's go exit her house, stand next to the door and open it. And let's maybe go to the bank to deposit some useless stuff in our inventory. For example, the fixed device as well as the leftover toads. Now you can simply drop the colored toads, but you could still fire them at people after the quest is completed. So I'm going to keep them for now. Now if you would already have a barrel of naphtha in your bank from the regicide quest, take it right now because we will need it at this part of the quest. If you don't need to have your barrel of coal tar or your coal anymore. We're going to go to the bank after this part is over. So if you do not have a barrel of naphtha in your bank, you will need to have a teleport to a bank with you, as well as a teleport to your house, and then also back to Ardougne. For the people that do already have a barrel of naphtha, you only need to run all the way back to Ardougne or bring a Ardougne teleport. So I don't think you will need anything else. You may drop your feather. We have already tickled the gnome enough. Why can't you just cross the log balance? Seriously. Let's return to Alina and see if our scientific stuff is done. And we should now receive a thief from her. Okay, once we have this, let's exit her house and let's run to the combat training camp located north of West Ardougne. This is the fenced area with locked ogres in it. Now, when we have arrived here at the gate of that combat training camp, just go more west. And west of this combat training camp we should find another fenced area. Also the gate is on the southern side. Let's open this gate. And you'll see a red dot inside of it, inside of this fenced area. Let's go towards it and we will find a barrel. Let's take it. 2 squares north you will find a rotten apple pile. Let's use the barrel on it and we'll fill it up. Next, use the barrel filled with the rotten apples on the apple barrel, just 2 squares east, just 2 squares west. We will see a short animation of your character stomping it into apple juice, I think. And we will now have a apple barrel filled with apple mush, I think. Now it is time to make a barrel of naphtha again, just like in the regicide quest. If you already have one, just use your barrel of naphtha on the apple barrel and then use your sieve on it to remove the mush and make it into a toxic barrel. And then you will just need to cook it on a cooking range. Be sure to cook it on a range, else it will explode and you will take a lot of damage and you still don't have your toxic powders. Be sure to use it on a range. If you do not have your barrel of naphtha, let's teleport to any bank. I just go to Castlevars, it is the nearest one I think, from a teleport. Going to take my coal tar, going to deposit my weight reducing armor and my glory. Then I'm just going to unload my coal. Where is my coal? Then I'm just going to take like 10, teleport to Rimmington, and now just go to the chemist's house. If you just use your house portal, which is in Rimmington, just go a little bit west and you are already there. Just like in regicide quest, let's just go to the fractionalizing still, use your barrel of coal tar on it. You will see this interface once again. First, let's click on the right side of the tar regulator valve twice, so you'll see that pressure go up until the indicator is on green. Let's click on the right side of the pressure valve once. Next, let's add 3 coal pretty quickly. You'll see that the heat indicator will go up. Once it goes down, add 1 more coal, and now just wait until the heat goes down again, add 1 more coal, and then after using like 4 or 6 pieces of coal, just close the interface because the green bar is full. You will now have a barrel of naphtha. Use this on the apple barrel and we'll get a naphtha apple mix. Next, let's go to Rimmington, and on our way to Rimmington let's use the sieve on naphtha apple mix. You sieve the solids out of the mixture and you now have a toxic naphtha. Let's enter the northeastern building in Rimmington and use the toxic naphtha on the range. It doesn't have to be the range in Rimmington, it can be any cooking range as long as you just use it on a cooking range. If you would use it on a fire, the barrel will explode and you will take a minimum of 50 damage as well as not receiving your 2 toxic powders. Alright, when you have these 2 toxic powders, let's teleport to Ardougne for the final part of the quest. For this, I think I'm going to quickly go to the bank and get back my weight reducing armor, because now we will need to run around a little bit in West Ardougne. We also don't need our coal anymore, as well as our ogre bellows. You may also just drop your 2 empty barrels, as well as your sieve, all useless now. I'm going to quickly grab my graceful boots of lightness. 2 stamina potions is more than enough, I think 1 is enough. Besides from that, because the quest is going to get completed, I'm going to take 1 teleport away from West Ardougne, and I'm first going to go there to do the final part of the quest. Okay, when we have arrived in West Ardougne, let's go to the mayor's house from the Plague City quest. Just the main building, just north of the square, let's say. Inside, let's enter the western room. Inside we should find a couple of stairs, sacks and grain sacks. Let's use a toxic powder on one of these grain sacks. Click to continue. And let's exit this building. Next we will need to go southwest until we see a graveyard. Just keep going west-southwest, mostly west. Here at the graveyard, just keep going west until we see a general store sign. Just keep running west-southwest. Here in the southwestern corner, here at the general store sign, let's use a toxic powder on one of these 3 grain sacks. Alright, when you've dissolved 2 of the powders, let's return to the most northeastern building. Let's return to the head mourner to complete our quest. Okay, I'm near the door. I'm going to equip my mourner, unequip my jewelry, open the door, re-equip my ring, because why not? Open door, open the trapdoor. Let's return to the head mourner. And let's get ready to gain your 25,000 thieving as well as hit points experience. And congratulations, you've completed Mourning's End Part 1. You are awarded with 2 quest points, 25,000 hit points and thieving experience, access to Letia, and able to shoot toads with the fixed device. And if you would have some toads left, be sure to fire it at some other players. This was my guide how to complete Mourning's End Part 1. Hopefully it helped. Subscribe, rate and comment. Okay, thanks, bye.